Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Now that Tank is fighting here in a couple hours, you're getting a lot of talk, a lot of people saying different things. But what got my attention is somebody was saying that this could be an upset. And I was thinking to myself, when we talk about upsets, right? With a guy like Tank Davis, because to me, he's already a superstar. But you get some of these people who take it to the stupid. And they're like, this is going to be the breakout fight for Tank that's going to catapult him to stardom. And I'm like, man, you must have been sleeping under a rock for the last 4 or 5 years, 3, 4, 5 years, right? Tank's already a damn superstar, man. This isn't the fight that's going to make Tank Davis. You crazy, man? So I started thinking, I was like, you know what? When did we last see somebody who was on the cusp of greatness, stardom, but it all went down in flames? And you can't say Adrian Broner because he was a star when he fought Maidana. Okay? He was a star. But I said, Victor Ortiz. That was a good example of someone who was being pushed to be the next golden boy. Didn't work out that way, did it? When he met that Argentinian maniac with the Colt 4-5 tattooed on his hip. Didn't work out that way, but it started off great for Ortiz. Then he got hit, and we saw what happened when he got hit. He became normal. At the end of the fight, he said he didn't like getting hit. He had to rethink his career. And he had some moments where he looked really good after that fight, but for the most part, we saw that mentally he had kind of checked out from boxing. If you hit Victor Ortiz after that, he had the tendency to want to quit, and he lost a lot of fans, and his boxing career rapidly deteriorated, especially after he headbutt Floyd, and Floyd did what I think any man would have done in that case, and knocked him out, right? But when we talk about Tank Davis, look, he's in a tough fight. But Tank Davis is cut from a different cloth. Tank Davis has come up extremely hard. I'm not saying Victor Ortiz didn't come up hard. He had a lot of challenges. You know, it's unfortunate when you hear about children and just parents not being there for them. You know, all children deserve unconditional love, guidance, and structure, but that's not how it is for everybody, and I get it. But at the same time, Tank, although he came up tough, although his mother was on drugs, he went to a children's home. He was able to get some stability in his life through boxing and that Coach Ford. And Coach Ford was able to get some stability in his life because Coach Ford lost his son. And he was in that gym with fighters, and Tank Davis was right there with him all the way. So I think Tank Davis and Coach Ford, they benefited by forming a complementary relationship where both of them, where Tank may have needed a father figure, Calvin lost his son, and they both were able to fill voids in each other's life and really form, like I said, a complementary relationship. So as a result, although Tank grew up rough, he's had somewhat stability. And that, to me, is the biggest difference between Tank and a guy like Victor Ortiz. Victor Ortiz, even to this day, there's really no stability there. You know, he got the tattoo on his back with his last name. Then he covered it up. All kind of craziness, man. But with going into a fight, Tank and Hector Garcia, hey, let me tell you what. First of all, Tank's not going to be there to get hit. We all saw that with Pitbull Cruz. It doesn't matter what you bring at Tank. If he loses a hand in the fight because he injures it, he has the other hand, but then he can box. He's not always, he doesn't always have to walk you down and knock you out. If he realizes he can't do that, he will box, and he's a wonderful boxer. He puts on a master class, and we saw that, and we've seen that in almost all of his fights. For those of you who are saying, no, Tank just comes to knock everybody out, I have to tell you again, let's not take it to the stupid and hold your horses. Look at his most recent fight where he got into it with Rolly Romero. Tank's not a dumb fighter. He got into it with Rolly, was looking to test him, looking to knock him out. He felt that power. He said, holy shit. This man is strong. And he knew, and that's what you got to respect about a fighter. He knew his strengths and weaknesses, and he knew for those first 4 rounds, it was probably to the advantage of Rolly Romero if they got into a gunfight. That speaks volumes about Tank, who knows that he hits hard and he can knock people out. But for him to get touched by Rolly and say, nah, I don't want to deal with that crap. Let me just be patient. Box him, be smart, stay on the outside. If there's an opportunity, exploit it. Look for the weaknesses and identify the threats. And go on and get a victory probably after round 5, 6, 7. And that's what he did. So going into a fight with Hector Garcia has over 400 amateur fights. He's a threat. Does he have the power like Marcos Maidana? No. Does he have power? I would say yes. But he's no power puncher like Marcos Maidana. He's no power puncher like Rolly Romero. But he's a guy who you got to respect. The man moved out the Dominican Republic during his amateur days to go out there and train in Russia. Let me tell you, when you have over 400 fights, you can say 200 of them are tomato cans. Those other 200, you probably got to put some respect on the name. And when you're on the amateur circuit, you've seen all styles. You face power punchers. You face boxers. You face a little bit of everything. Got clowns in the ring. So he brings all that experience and that would take it. We've seen what he's been able to do in his last 2 fights. Man went out there and just shut Colbert down and won a title in his next fight. And that wasn't easy. But Tank is a whole different beast. I do think he's going to be competitive, but I just don't think Tank versus Hector Garcia is another Victor Ortiz versus Maidana. I mean, I say no. But to see people saying yes, I just think it's a matter of people who have nothing better to do, who don't understand the sport, who don't understand what Tank brings to the table, and who don't understand what Hector Garcia brings to the table. I'm not telling you Tank's going to get in there and blow him out in the first round. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I think Tank is built different, and Tank can recognize when an opponent is strong, when an opponent is doing something great, and Tank starts to download that data, and he makes adjustments. And that is not easy to do. And that's why I'm going to pick Tank in this fight, because to me, he's a smarter fighter, and he's so damn explosive and quick and intelligent. But one of the key attributes about Tank Davis, right, is he's patient. You know how hard it is to be patient, and when you're boxing. Now, I've always said, I've been around. I have friends who fought professionally. I used to fight, not professionally, but I fought as an amateur. I sparred a whole lot, right? But I'm telling you, when you're in the ring and you get hit hard, it's hard to stay calm. It's hard to stay patient. That's why stamina is extremely important, because stamina helps you to, I'm just going to say it, to run in that ring, okay? It helps you to create that distance, avoid that guy who's coming on strong. And you just got to stay calm, because, like they say, boxing is 90% mental. But once you're able to do that, stay patient, stay smart, you're in good condition, then you can start to pick it up. And then as the other person, who you could just term them as a front runner, when they start to slow down, then you take over. And Tank has that ability to be disciplined enough to do that. And then he doesn't get tired and he carries his power late in the fight. That, you're talking about Gamboa, right? So that is a recipe for disaster for anyone Tank fights. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how this fight plays out. But as far as people comparing Tank, Hector Garcia, Ortiz, Maidana, please stop now. Please stop. Before I make a phone call to Claude and Ray from Life, and we start round 2 of our killing spree. Okay? So let's just stop now. Because I think Tank's gonna win this fight, and I think he stops him between round 7 and 8. That being said, y'all keep cool. Leave your comments below. Stop now. Tank versus Garcia is not Victor Ortiz versus Maidana. Quit it. Y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.